Hello, my name is Meadow Scarfone, and for this discussion on MTSS, or Multi-Tiered Systems of Support, I looked into strategies to prepare classrooms for substitute teachers. This fell under the PBS, or Positive Behavioral Supports category. I felt that it was very important, especially right now within time. There's constantly subs, and obviously it's inevitable with all the sicknesses and COVID and all of that, but it's not an easy job, and so I thought it was very important. So not only will a sub feel better being left with work and given information, but it's also just as important for the students, which oftentimes we forget as teachers. The first step is within the classroom at the beginning of the year. Review expectations. Let them know every once in a while you will have a substitute. And break down the expectations. Let them know how they should act, how they could be helpful, and all of that. It's also important to remind the students that being a sub is not an easy job. They go from grades to grades and they travel all over, and it's definitely not easy. You should make sure that the students know to treat the sub with the same respect as your teacher, if not even more respect. They should also be made aware that the sub will leave names of students who are not behaving, as well as students who are being helpful and behaving. There's also a form that you could review with them that was listed on the website, and it is a substitute teacher feedback report. The website said to overhead this and go over it with the students so they know what will be left, which may kind of help them act a little bit better. So up here it is just information about the class. This is what overall information would you like to share about how the day went. These were well-behaved and helpful students. These were behavioral or disciplined students. And that do you feel that the class as a whole behaved well enough to deserve a reward? This is what would you recommend I do to make my future subs go smoother, and then some information that the sub can leave with their phone number and all that. So that is very important, and it's important to let the students know that those who go under the not behaved category, let them know that there will be consequences. You can let them know what consequences, whether it be a phone call home or a lost recess. You can let them know that, or you could also just kind of keep that private and let it depend on what happens. It's also important to let them know if they don't behave, they will be writing that substitute an apology note. So obviously having a sub isn't always planned, so you may not have time to leave this form, or maybe the sub is having a crazy day and forgets to fill it out. So you could always ask neighboring classes, just talk within the students, talk to other teachers, all of that, and kind of find out if the class followed procedures and expected behaviors. On the same note, if you weren't preparing to be out, it should be okay, because you can always remind them aside from when you're going to have a sub, like, at the beginning of the year, and then maybe every few weeks remind them if there's a sub. But if you do know the day before, it's really helpful to let them know there's going to be a sub. This is what you should do versus this is what you shouldn't do. Same thing, after you have a sub, you need to talk to the students. You need to know what went right and what went wrong. See where the feedback lies. Praise and reward well-behaved students. And then, of course, those who weren't behaving, take them to the side, talk to them, have them write their apology letter, and go from there based off of consequences. The MTSS is necessary within every single classroom, this specific skill and strategy. On the framework, I think it falls within tier 1 because it is universal. It goes towards good students as well as bad students, behavioral wise. So it kind of ties in a whole. Any classroom could use this form, which makes me again think it's universal. This strategy is so important, and maybe not the exact same one, and maybe not the exact same feedback form, but it is so helpful, I'm assuming. And I just think that it's really important with everything going on that we talk more about substitutes and talk to students more about it and kind of prepare them. So thank you.